know what? We out there doing our thing. Listen, my street name, we don't need to talk about that. But listen, you get out there, you do your little scuffles and stuff like that. You know what? This lost some battles. I tell you that, lost some battles. But this is the thing. I'm going to get back up. That's the thing about him. So he's going to get his credentials based upon the fact that, you know what? Kasada. They didn't call me Kasada, but I didn't know that. Bro, I think you should stay down. Brother, you should stay down. Nope, get right back up. You're going to do this thing again. And so that's where you get your respect at and your honor is because you don't stay down. But you know what? But what are the spiritual principles behind that? You're always supposed to get back up. That's the whole thing. All right, Mr. McCarthy. And walk before me and be thou perfect. So keep striving, Israel. Keep striving. And I will make my covenant, again, I will make my covenant between me and you, and I will multiply you exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Yahuah, or Elohim, talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with you, Abram. And you, Abram, shall be a father of, it says, of a multitude of nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram. He's about to make a very important covenant. Please pay very close attention. Again, how old is Abram at this point? 99. Okay, hallelujah. Neither shall thy name be any more called Abram, but thy name should be Abram, for a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you, and their generations for an everlasting covenant. For how long? An everlasting covenant. To be an Elohim unto you and to your seed after you. And I will give unto you and to your seed after you the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be there in the future. I will be their Elohim. And Elohim said unto Abram, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore you and your seed after you and their generations. This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and your seed after you. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. You talked about that before. Circumcision is very important. Very important because, again, it's that covenant, it's that sign, it's that mark. Everything is based upon this word right here, which is brit. There has to be a cutting. It has to be blood ratified. All right? Blood is very, very important. This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and thy seed after you. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in your house or bought with money of any stranger which is not of your seed. He that is born in your house, and he that is bought with money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, the soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And Elohim said unto Abram, as for Sarai, this is going to be very, very important. And Elohim said unto Abram, as for Sarai, thy Isha, thy wife, thou shalt call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. And I will baruch her and give thee a son also of her. That is very, very important up to this time now. When Abraham's name was Abram and Sarah's name was Sarai, they didn't have any children. The reason why they didn't have any children because there was no covenant, no brit. All right? There must be a relationship with the father first. There has to be. Yashra'al points that out a whole lot, that listen, that needs, before we get into relationships, it's very important that our sisters understand that they have to have some understanding and knowledge of the Father, so that nobody gets taken advantage of. That is very important. Adam had a relationship with the Father before the Isha came. And it was Adam's responsibility now to bring her up in Torah, to guard, to shamar, to protect her. And we see the same thing happening now with Abraham. It was Abraham's responsibility now to act as an Elohim or a Yahuah to his Isha. This is just the way that is outlined. Now watch how this goes. And I will baruch her and give thee a son also of her. Now, Abraham, he's 99 years old. Yep. He's 99, but he's a young 99. Okay? All right. But there's still some question here. Yes, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abram fell upon his face, and he laughed. And he said in his heart, shall a child be born unto me that is 100 years old? So, if he's 99 years old now, he's talking about a promise that's going to take place in the future. He would then be 100 years old, right? Right. So, in order for this to take place, Abraham has to speed things up a little bit. All right? He has to tell his Isha, listen, the father made a covenant, so we're going to have to do what grown folks do, because, listen, you know what? We got 1 year. Actually, less than, you have only like a couple of weeks, months, to get this thing going, because you know what? We're going to prove the father here. You know what? I'm 99 years old, and we're going to find out later how old Sarah is, all right? Because, again, everything is based upon an heir, okay, an inheritance, land, because it's about a seed. That seed, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, everything is based upon that. Now, let's speed it up here. And then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto me that is 100 years old, and shall Sarah that is 90 years old. So at the point now, Abraham is 99 years old, and Sarah is how old? 90. So there's a 9-year difference between the two. 9-year difference. And the next year she would be how old? 90. Real easy math. Okay, hallelujah. Real easy. And Abraham said it to Elohim, that Ishmael might live before you. And Elohim said, Sarah thy wife shall bear a son. I'm not even trying to hit Ishmael, because when Abram had intercourse with Hagar, he still had the foreskin over his penis. So there must be a cutting first. That cutting was made. We see that it's a long story, so I just keep it simple. Abraham and Sarah, they were related, so bloodline is very important. Hagar was not of the same bloodline. When Abraham came out with his father, they were all related. This is the reason why we did the lesson on the story with Ruth and Boaz. Everything is, we're not talking about incest. A lot of things looked at as incest now, but there was a genetic pool that we did have to keep the bloodline pure. So I just keep that simple there. And Abraham said unto Elohim, that Ishmael might live before thee. And Elohim said, Sarah thy wife shall bear a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee, behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto me at this set time. Set time. That word set time is going to be very important. Set time. Set time. Same day. When was the covenant made? When Abraham circumcised Ishmael, Eliezer, because remember Eliezer went to get Ishmael. How old was, when do you believe that this event happened? According to scripture. Not you, Maureen. What are we talking about here?
Same day.
Huh?
Same day.
Right, it's still the same day. It's still during the beginning of the year. Around Passover season. It's the same thing.
And how else we know that is because Lot, when they came to Lot, he made them unleavened bread.
Exactly, and unleavened bread. And also, remember when Abram went to war with the 5 kings? When do kings go to war?
The spring.
See how this is all falling in? And then after that, what happened? The bread and wine. We can't make this stuff up. It's all here. It's just how is it that we're putting the scriptures together once we read the story? Okay, we can keep on going though. All right, we're in verse, we're in 22. Okay, hallelujah. And he left off talking with him, and Elohim went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin when? In the self same day. So my point, what I'm trying to make here is that the beginning of the year, when we have the 14th and the 15th, is very, very important. Now watch this. If Abraham is circumcising his whole household when he's 99 years old, do anybody remember how old Ishmael was when he was circumcised?
13.
Okay, 13 years old. When the Father first made this covenant with Abraham, in Genesis the 15th chapter, remember, same day, how old was Abram at that time? I hear some mumbling, but I can't hear.
Can you repeat the question?
In Genesis the 15th chapter, and looking at this covenant that the Father was making with Abraham, he is now 99 years old. We go back now to the story of Genesis, when the covenant was first made. If Ishmael is 13 years old at this next visit that the Father is having with Abraham, how old was Abraham when? 86. Hallelujah. 86 plus 13 gives us 99. See how we're doing the math here? It's still the same day. Okay, so we continue there. So it's 99, he's 99. So if Sarah now was, how old she was 80, how old she was 80? No, she was 90. So 13 years from that, she would have been what? No. 77. So I just found these numbers very, very interesting because again, we get back, let me just read it because we're almost done. And Abraham took Ishmael his son and all that were born in his house and all that were bought with money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self same day, as Elohim had said unto him. And Abram was 99 years old, 90 years of 9, and when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the self same day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of this house born in the house had brought with money of the stranger was circumcised with him. Now this is where it gets important But I would never argue with anybody with it. The 15th is very important. That's when the covenant was made. The self same day, it said the next year, Abram would have been 100